Hey, I'm sorry, Yang Gang. They put a copyright strike on this video, so I had to take it down and re-upload it. I'm trying it with just audio, so let's see what we get from here. Appreciate for all the people that I'm seeing the first time before I got a copyright strike, so you know, first come, first serve. But anyway, this the same video, but it's just not gonna have the video. It's just gonna have a picture instead. Let's get it. Whoa, what's good with you, Yang Gang? This your boy Triple Cup Chuck, and I'm up. And appreciate you for coming rock with me. Like, share, and subscribe. I would like for you to leave a comment if you agree or you disagree with me when I say Andrew Yang is slacking in 3 categories. That's the blacks, that's the women, and that's the people that's over 50. Now, this is Andrew Yang is approaching the women voters by going on the rim. I would like for y'all to leave a comment and let me know what y'all think. Well, if you can get to the introductions, and let's go.
Feel it right, told Chuck, I feel like every night is all night. I'm up. Double cup, feel it right, told Chuck, I feel like every night is all night. I'm up. Double cup, feel it right, told Chuck, I feel like every night is all night. I'm up. Double cup, feel it right, told Chuck, I feel like every night is all night.
Entrepreneur turned presidential candidate who is making waves on the campaign train. Please welcome Andrew Yang.
So, Andrew, you come from a business background, so why run for president as your first foray into politics?
Well, it wasn't my first choice, honestly.
Okay.
But we're going through the greatest economic transformation in the history of our country, and for some reason we're blaming immigrants for things that immigrants have nothing to do with. So, I'm running for president to fix the problems that got Donald Trump elected in the first place, including the fact that we got rid of 4 million manufacturing jobs in the Midwest, which helped get him elected.
Okay.
Yeah, you're not sure to applaud with that. I mean, it's...
Right. Well, I want to understand your signature proposal is called the Freedom Dividend. And I want to know exactly what is it and why do you think that this is going to help everyday people?
Well, it's not my idea. Martin Luther King championed it in the 60s. It's a policy where every American adult gets $1,000 a month to do whatever you want, free and clear. And this is going to help all of us transition in the 21st century, but it also makes us stronger, healthier, mentally healthier, less stressed out, and helps us do the kind of work that we want to do.
Who's going to pay for it, though?
Well, it's certainly not going to be the people here at this table. You have $1 trillion tech company, Amazon, right now, closing 30% of our stores and malls, literally paying 0 in taxes. So if you give the American people our fair share of every Amazon sale, every Google search, every Facebook ad, we can easily afford a dividend of $1,000 a month for every American.
So as president, you would make them pay for this?
Yeah. You know, you can't have $1 trillion tech company paying 0 in taxes. And what I'm saying is it's not their fault, it's our fault. We've set up a really easy to game system, and we need to make it as smart as the tech companies.
Wow. In the last...
Hey, I gotta agree with Andrew Yang. We have to keep up with the times. It's the 21st century. We can't be living in the Stone Age no more when it comes to laws and then what we're gonna do with this technology. See this loophole that they've been having with this technology and these big tech companies? They need to close and fill these gaps because they're going to keep exploiting the American people. And you cannot blame them for doing what they are designed to do. But we have to combat. That's like you have a computer program and then somebody add a hack. Then you got to put up another wall or put some more blocks and then they try to get around it. It's a never ending cycle. But when the Constitution was written, computers was nowhere, at least the internet was nowhere in nobody's mind at all. Because it wasn't advanced at the time to even look this far into the future. So now we have to have a separate set of laws that combat against the things that's happening in the 21st century that can actually help the American people. And that's one thing Andrew Yang is saying. Let's continue this video. Let's go.
In the last debate, you said your campaign will raffle off 10
Freedom Dividends that will be financed by campaign donations from supporters. Have you put that plan into effect?
I have, and it's so much fun calling people to let them know that they just won $1,000 a month for a year. I've been making those calls over the last number of days, and people have cried tears of joy. People have been completely shocked and in disbelief. So it's been a lot of fun. I've personally been giving families around the country $1,000 a month for the last several months, and seeing the change it's had on their way of life and outlook in their family life, it just makes me want to do it for all Americans, which we can do.
It's like we do something called the Hotline Bling, and we give away $500 to $1,000, and people feel real good about it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like that.
You know, it's a very ambitious plan what you have, Mr. Yang, but people are debating whether it's legal because the federal election law says you cannot use campaign funds for personal use. So it says that maybe you're violating the law. What is your response to that?
Well, I've been giving some of these families money out of my own pocket for a number of months. And you have to think about our system where if we raise $1 million from donors and I gave it to a media company for advertising or to consultants or to pay a bunch of canvassers, everyone would say that's A-okay. But if I simply give it to American families to improve their own lives, that's somehow problematic. It's kind of a ridiculous standard, though I'm happy to say it's totally legal.
You think it's totally legal?
Oh, yeah, we have an army of expensive lawyers who signed off on it and said it's totally legal.
You know they'll take it to the Supreme Court, though.
I look forward to arguing that because we're going to win.
Hey, if they take this to the Supreme Court, that actually could work in Andrew Yang's favor because it will automatically push a whole bunch of coverage toward him because they can say, oh, a president candidate is getting, same thing we're doing with Donald Trump. But this one is going to be actually him trying to help the American people, and the government is trying to stop him. So that's going to actually get the American people to rally more behind him when they think about it, how simple he just put this here. He can get $1 million and I could pump it into an advertising company like MSNBC. And if I don't put this money into their hands and I say, well, you know what? I will use my advertising and go directly to the people, and I can use this exact same money to advertise by giving it to the people and help out somebody's life. Not just put my picture on the TV screen. With that being said, he pretty much said everything about it, but I 100% agree with him. If they take him to the Supreme Court, everybody a part of the Yang game is going to be just ballistic around the internet. We're going to melt Twitter down. We're going to melt YouTube down. You will not be able to see no video on YouTube without seeing a suggested video from Andrew Yang. Let the people try to take Andrew to court behind that for trying to help the American people. Well, anyway, let's get back to this video.
An issue this campaign is, of course, immigration. You have strong opinions on the matter. What are they?
I'm the son of immigrants myself. I believe that immigrants make our country stronger and more dynamic. So we have to create a path forward for all of the immigrants who are here trying to create a better life for themselves and their families. And this was a bipartisan stance not that long ago, before the Republicans lost their guts on this issue, that we have to have a path forward for people who are here and undocumented.
I have one last question. When it comes to your Freedom Dividend, I know another idea is raising the minimum wage to $15. How do you feel about that? And is your Freedom Dividend better than that idea? How's it correlated?
No one should be working full-time and be poor in this country.
Right.
But raising the minimum wage would do nothing for women like my wife, who's at home with our 2 boys, one of whom is autistic. And I know she's working much harder than I am, but we don't consider her work a job right now. So if you have a Freedom Dividend of $1,000 a month, $12,000 a year, that helps parents and caregivers, as well as people who are working full-time jobs, because everyone gets a $12,000 a year raise.
Okay. Well, we've got a lot more to chat about with Andrew Yang, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. This is The Real.
Okay, let's start this out with the immigrants. Me personally, my personal opinion, I do not like the whole concept of an imaginary line a person cannot cross. I hate that concept. I think that if you could walk from one part of a country to another part of a country, that's free land space to be able to walk from, especially for the people that own where this country is originally from. The native people, they never had a thing where you own this part of land and stuff like that. They never was those type of people. I really think that we need, instead of going by the Declaration of Independence, we need to have a different mentality, as in we need to go back to the native people who the land originally belonged to, and let those people set, get together and set the rules for their country. Just because you took their country, that don't mean that this is our country. It's still the country for the native. We just running it because we are bullies. And we walk into somebody else's house and we just say, hey man, we need somewhere to stay, and they welcome us inside their house. And once we come in, we start taking over, telling their wife and telling their kids and telling them how they gotta eat, live, dress, and what they have to do. Think about it. They supposed to fight back, and then let's say the person, it could be a whole bunch of things like that. Y'all get the concept. I don't want to dive too much into that because I really want to get into this $15 an hour. Well, what they were saying about the $15 an hour versus the UBI, just think about it like this here. If a corporation is making a certain amount of money, they still got to hit that bottom line. So if they had to pay their employees $15 an hour, it's either one or two things. Their profit got to stay the same, so they either got to cut back on how they making it, make the people work harder, or go up on the price of the product because they can't afford to pay their people $15 an hour and still bring home the same profit. Now with $1,000 a month, they don't have nothing to do with this $1,000 a month. So a corporation like Coca-Cola or Frito-Lay or any other these big corporations that's pumping out multi-billion-dollar products, that they will have to pay no money. So now they don't have to pay no money. They can still pay their employees the same amount of money. So the employees will have more money, and then that means they'll be able to still use their same resources and pay their employees the same amount of price. They'll make the same amount of money, but the only thing that's different is the employer is not being forced to up the price of their product because they have to pay more for the employee. Excuse me. Well, anyway, though, continue.
Welcome back. We're still here talking with Democratic presidential candidate Andrew Yang.
All right, Andrew, so the biggest news right now is the impeachment inquiry against President Trump. So do you think this is... Okay, so our real fan has spoken. Do you think that this is the right move?
I do. Impeachment is the right move. I do think, though, that every moment we spend focusing on Donald Trump is a win for him, even we're talking about impeaching him. And so we need a new vision that Americans can get excited about. That's how we're going to beat him in 2020.
Wow. Well, currently, there are 19 Democratic presidential candidates. What is your game plan for winning this election?
Well, I was as high as 4th in a recent national poll, and my campaign's one of only a couple of campaigns that's been consistently growing and gaining momentum the whole time. So we're going to grow and grow and grow, and we're going to peak at the exact right time early next year.
But realistically, let's say you don't get the presidential nomination. Would you be willing to take the vice president nomination?
I'm running to help solve the problems that got Donald Trump elected, and I don't have some deep, burning, a long-standing desire to be president. I just want to contribute. So if it's as president, fantastic. If it's in some other role, that's great too.
Got it. You just want to do your part.
I just want to do my part. I'm a parent.
The impeachment with Trump. Now, I'm looking at it like this here. We are in October. By the time they do all this stuff to try to impeach Trump, it's going to be time for a new president anyway. So instead of putting all this effort into trying to impeach him, which he needs to be impeached, but instead of us putting all this effort into that, we need to be focusing solely on trying to get Andrew Yang elected as president, because Donald Trump, if he trying to get impeached, that means he get more media coverage. That means the less exposure Andrew Yang is receiving. And what I mean by that is the only thing that's holding Andrew Yang from beating Donald Trump is exposure. Now, once Andrew Yang get his exposure, he will clip all of Trump voters to come to the Yang game. And I mean, that is a proven fact, because I know some Trump supporters from 2016 are now a part of the Yang gang. I know some Bernie Sanders supporters back in 2016. Now that's a part of the Yang gang. I know some people that's Hillary Clinton supporters back in 2016. Now they're a part of the Yang gang. So actually, I'm looking forward to Andrew Yang going against Donald Trump. But impeachment, that's exactly what he need. But I feel exactly how Andrew Yang was saying it. They need to impeach him, but the effort that they're putting toward Donald Trump is less coverage you putting toward Andrew Yang. So I'm hoping that they take it to the Supreme Court about Andrew Yang giving 10 families $1,000 a month to help their lives, as in using it instead of using that money traditionally, as in paying it to these media companies. Well, anyway, though, make America think harder all the way to the bottom line. Let's go ahead and get to the wrapping up of this video and seeing what they got. Let's go.
What the math means for our viewers?
Well, one of our big lines on the trail is the opposite of Donald Trump is an Asian man who likes math. But math is also an acronym that stands for Make America Think Harder.
Hey.
Which is what we have to do to start focusing on the real problems on the ground. The fact that stores and malls are closing, and the most common job in most of the country is being a retail clerk. The average retail clerk's a 39-year-old woman making between $9 and $11 an hour. So when those stores close, what is her next move going to be? We have to focus on those problems if we're going to actually move our country forward.
Okay. So how do you plan on getting the support of President Trump's voters?
Well, because I'm so focused on these kitchen table economic issues, I'm one of only 2 candidates in the field that 10% or more of Donald Trump voters said they would support in the general election. I'm beating Donald Trump head-to-head by 8 points in the swing states. And so as people realize that I'm the strongest nominee to take on Donald Trump in the general election, Democrats are going to get more and more excited. The fact that I'm as sure a bet as there is in the field.
You have 2 kids, ages 4 and 6. Do they even realize that their father...
Oh my gosh.
So cute. That their father is running for president?
They really do not have any clue, I have to say. I mean, my 6-year-old is on the autism spectrum, so he's a little bit more in his own world than other 6-year-olds. My 4-year-old has no clue at all. He's more concerned about Paw Patrol and
Paw Patrol.
And watching Daddy, which is fine by me. I mean, though they asked, like, why are you away so much, Daddy? And I was like, Daddy has a very big deadline coming up.
It looks like you're having an absolute blast on the campaign trail. We have some B-roll of you want to show. What's been your favorite part so far being on the trail?
That's funny. I remember that.
What is this?
That was me crowd surfing at an event in California. Actually, some people crowd surfed at the rally last night in LA.
Was that your first time doing that, or is that...
I crowd surfed a lot as a kid. I went to rock concerts and got up there.
Like, that's your thing. Like, that's what you do.
And, I mean, yeah. Like I went to I went to the first 3 Lollapaloozas and stuff like that. So but I've been having a blast on the trail. Just meeting Americans in every walk of life and spreading the message that we can do much, much better for ourselves if we just rewrite the rules of our economy to work for us. And giving people money, I have to say, it puts a smile on your face and theirs.
Wow. Well, Andrew, thank you so much for joining us today. It was a pleasure speaking with you, and good luck on the campaign.
You're going to see much more of me. Thank you all. Thank you.
We've got to take a quick break, but don't go anywhere because we'll be right back. This is The Real.
I know y'all see Andrew Yang with Surfboard. Now that's the type of president for me. Matter of fact, he gonna be like, if he was in Marvel, I'd call him the Silver Surfer. Andrew Yang, the Silver Surfer. But anyway, though, let's go ahead and get up out of here, man. Appreciate y'all for rocking with me. Like, share, subscribe, all the other good stuff. But let's go ahead and end this here. See y'all next time. Au revoir.